had a really good Thanksgiving. For today's video, I am going to be talking about packing for a Christmas trip. I go back and visit family every year around Christmas. This year I'm going to be back for about a week, and I usually do a poor job of packing books for that trip. Usually the night before the trip, when I'm packing, I will take a tour of the bookcases in my house and just put together a stack of books that I think I may possibly want to read while I'm on vacation. And I usually read a few of them. I definitely don't usually even get to half of them. This is not very efficient. My suitcase is much heavier than it needs to be. So this year I sat down and really thought about what kinds of books I need for this Christmas vacation, and I thought I would share it with you all in case you are also packing for an upcoming trip and want to be thoughtful about what books you are going to bring as well. We're going to get started with my unread books bookshelf. I have one bookshelf in my house that is full of books that I have not read yet, and that's usually where I start my vacation book shopping. The first genre is the wrong word. The first category of books that I need to bring on my trips are the airplane books. These books, for me, need to be extremely engrossing. Like, I need to be completely unaware of the world around me because I am going to be unhappily in a loud, crowded place. I want books that are going to make me forget that I'm in an airport or flying above the ground. For me, what kind of books work really well for that situation? Romance books and fantasy books. Both of them tend to be very fast-moving, very engrossing, and I can just tune out the rest of the world while I'm reading them. I usually get through about 2 books per trip, per airplane flight, so that'd be 4 books total. So for this category, on this trip, I have picked out a few books from my collection of unread books. The 2 that I'm planning on reading on the way there are both Jenny Colgan books. Jenny Colgan is a contemporary romance / cozy escapist writer. She writes books set in the UK. And I actually have not really looked at these books too much. I believe that Christmas books that are in a series usually are fairly standalone, and I don't need to worry about continuity and all that. So these are my 2 books for the way there. I'll probably pick a third one as a backup, probably from one of my other bookcases. I'll probably pick an old favorite, something that I've read a lot before, for the way there. And then for the way home, I've had this book on my to-read list for a long time. Some author somewhere said that this book, Fire and Hemlock, by Diana Wynne Jones, was an influential book for them. So this is a fantasy book. It's quite long, as you can probably see. So I think this will probably get me through pretty much a trip there, or the trip back. And I'll probably pack another old favorite as my backup for that trip. My second category of books that I need to pack for this trip are books for me to read while I'm at home. Usually on my Christmas vacations, I am just hanging out at my family's home. Are books for kind of that just downtime when I'm at home. This category of books is not challenging books. They're still vacation books, but they're things that are not as engrossing. Things that I can put down if somebody wants to do something or hang out. I can pick it up and put it down again. Things that work really well tend to be sci-fi books, mysteries, a little bit more complicated contemporary stories, maybe things that kind of verge on literary fiction. Okay, so the first book I have for this is Jurassic Park. I saw the most recent Jurassic Park movie. I have not seen any of the other Jurassic Park movies, and I was like enthralled. The world building that had taken place in the Jurassic Park universe was just crazy to me. I found it so interesting. The plot and the story was fine, but the world building was crazy, and so now, of course, I want to watch all of the Jurassic Park movies to see how they've built this world. And before I do that, I would like to read the books. So it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've read a book by Michael Crichton, but I think this Christmas is the time to do it. And then my other book in this category was a birthday gift from my sister, so thank you. Miss Benson's Beetle by Rachel Joyce. So this is kind of another kind of cozy book. It takes place in 1950s London and features a protagonist who is a spinster. She, decides to go off and have an adventure. Which sounds like a fun thing to read. So that's those two books. And then we get into the final category, which is books that I want to use this vacation to finally read. That's a mouthful. Books that I have wanted to read for a long time, and I'm hoping I will read them on vacation. Books that I need a deadline to, books that I want to have read, but don't usually want to read them. Books that I need a deadline to finish. Anyways, I have two books. I probably won't read them, but maybe I will, and then I'll be happy. Both of these books I've started reading and have not finished. So we'll start with this one. This is Margaret Atwood, The Penelopiad. So this is a retelling of the Odyssey. I recently read the book Circe, and I cannot remember who the author is right now, which is a retelling of the Odyssey from the point of view of Circe, the witch who turns people into pigs. This is a retelling from the perspective of Penelope, who is that guy's wife, Odysseus. This is a book from her point of view. It's very short. I bought this book when I was on another vacation, and I ran out of books to read. The other one, Clara and the Sun. So this book won the Nobel Prize for Literature, but I picked it up more because it's kind of a highbrow sci-fi, which is one of my favorite book genres to have read. Like, I like reading these books, not necessarily in the moment, but I like reading them and like pondering them makes me sound so fancy. I got this far. Let's see if you can see my bookmark. This far in the book, and then I didn't finish it. I also got it really wet. That's why it looks like this. I'm going to go look at my favorite books bookshelf and pull a couple books from there in case I want to do a comfort reread, and then I will come back and we'll look at everything I've got and do a little wrap up. Okay, I have my books. In total, I am going to be bringing home 9 books, which may not sound like an improvement, but believe me, a pile this big, massive improvement. And of course, if I get into a book emergency situation, there are bookstores in Michigan, and I have Libby. My family has books that I could borrow. I'm not going to be in a book shortage situation, and I need to remember that, and this many books is going to be enough. Thank you all for joining me today in this Christmas book packing video. I hope that you all have a wonderful Christmas or a wonderful holiday season. I would love to hear what your strategy is for packing books on vacation. If you have a go-to strategy, a set of go-to books, Or if, like me, you just fill your suitcase up with as many things as you can think of, I'd love to hear about it. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Posing with my suitcases.